My name is Reni Folawiyo, and I am the founder of Alára. And who are you?
My name is Faridah Folawiyo. I am her daughter and the editor or co-editor of A Decade of Alára, the upcoming monograph, collectible, incredible book on Alara's first 10-year journey. I actually can't really remember. I think my mom has been low-key working on a book for a while, and she told me about it, and I was like, okay, we need to get some pep in our step. Like this thing that's bubbling in the background, this is the 10 years, let's get it going. And so she basically asked me to make the book.
Yes.
And I thought the timing was very tight. It was tight because I was intimidated by the Alára archive. And so before knowing what was inside it, I was like, how are we going to find all these people, all these images, speak to all these people? It just seems like a huge task to do in a year. And I like to work with time.
I don't, obviously.
I know. I know. So it's like, for me, a year is like, oh my God, that is so tight. And for her, it's like, we have a year. I think that anybody that's ever worked for their parents or like a family business, like the weight is different. It's like a very big burden is not the word, because it's not a burden, but it's like you feel like, oh, if I mess this up, I'm messing up my parents' thing. Like, so there's always this extra responsibility I've always felt in relation to Alára anyways. And I think obviously the older I get, the more I can handle it. And so I feel like understanding Alára, understanding my mom, I'm not as fearful of like things going wrong, because I'm just like, oh, I feel like I understand what she wants out of this. And I think with Toby as well, the thing that we just kept going back to was that there'll be more. So whatever we missed out this time, if we missed out on things, the next book, there'll be more.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that I was kind of trying to reassure you with that, because even I was intimidated by the volume of things we had done in the last 10 years and how we could actually put that in a book. But the idea that we can do more, and I also have this approach where we do the best that we can now, and that will be fine. Even if we did, there's always so much to write about Alára, that even a little bit of it is interesting enough and will be captivating anyway. So I kind of try to reassure her at every point that, look, it'll be fine. It will be fine. There's so much, and I also trust her. She's very composed, dedicated, organized. So I didn't have any problem with the fact that it would be a great book.
Okay, so we're going to go through 10 moments in the past 10 years that we can like reminisce on, talk through. I am interested to see what you are going to think about the images and like your memories of them versus mine.
Okay. Oh, Alára Rouge.
Alára Rouge, okay, yes. 2016?
I think it was 2016. Yeah. We were celebrating the arrival of Christian Louboutin to the store, and we had a Moulin Rouge theme, of course, around the red soul of Louboutin. I love a performance, and I think that was the beginning of the drama. And I think it was also pivotal because I think it was the first time in West Africa that Louboutin had partnered with any store. So it was kind of a red moment.
And I remember as like Nigeria, it had been really tough financially in the lead up to that. And like sponsorship was really hard, and like everyone was really struggling, like nobody was spending. And then maybe at the end of 2016, something happened, and it was like people were back.
Yes.
It felt like
more
it was
alive.
Like luxe. Yeah, everything was like people were coming to the store, people were shopping. It was like that moment. I also remember the getting like a contortionist from South Africa, and like her getting stuck in the ceiling.
No, she was never stuck.
But like she was struggling.
No, she was just, maybe.
She was struggling.
Maybe I don't think that our ceilings were high enough for her.
Okay.
So she was nervous.
Yeah, I was like, my heart was like in my mouth the whole time
Yeah.
that she was performing. Can you see that?
Ah, that's the night, the launch night of Knock.
Yeah, opening night.
Opening night. Oh my God.
That was that.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. My mom was like, I need your help for 1 month to come and open the restaurant. 1 month. So I think I arrived on December 1st. And I stayed for 2.5 years. So she tricked me.
It was a trick. I mean, not really, but yes. I mean, Faridah kind of like knows me really well. We explore life together. We have similar tastes and experiences. I mean, kind of like to eat. We developed like this thing about going out. We have very similar tastes, and also we like really good food, especially her. Actually, more her than me. Like she's a foodie first. I wasn't a foodie first.
Yeah.
Well, we're both foodies, but you
Yeah.
kind of took it to another level.
Yeah.
So I knew it was an interest of hers as well, and I didn't know anybody else that I could work with on this that would get my tastes, and yeah, understand what I wanted to do. So it really automatically had to be her, and even though she was straight out of school, I also knew she was so capable. So I was like, there's nobody else. And then staying 2 years also, it was tough because none of us had ever worked in the restaurant business.
Yeah.
Talk less of opening Knock and having a concept that was completely new. Imagine saying to people, we're elevating African food.
Well, I mean, also at that time in Lagos, I think that people don't really understand. It was RSVP and that was it. Like, obviously there were restaurants, but that was the only place where people were going out feeling sexy, feeling cool, going out to eat. There was like more like traditional, I would say, or like easy restaurants, but there wasn't really that many. And so then to try and get people out of their houses to go to a restaurant, and they're now saying it's African food. And it's not French, and it's not Italian, and it's not Japanese. I think that was interesting. But it was crazy because I think I arrived on December 1st and we opened December 18th, 19th.
Yeah, before Christmas.
And so it was like, she just decided we're going to open this restaurant before the end of the year.
Yeah.
And it has to happen, whatever it takes.
But it's great, the evolution of Knock, because honestly, I kind of feel that even now, Knock will work. There's something about it. Like when people worry about things, even my team, when they say, oh, they don't know what's happening with Knock, I'm like, Knock will be fine. And I think that has a lot to do with the beginnings and the mentality and having to empower people to feel that you can rule the world, even from a little restaurant. So this was a big moment for us. What year was this? Maki O's show in Alára.
I think this was also 2016. I remember coming back from Joburg.
Okay.
When I went to see Shaz, and I remember taking this. It was the same roll of film as my time in Joburg, so that's how I think about it.
Okay.
But I think it was 2016.
Anyone that knows the beginnings of Alára understands how important Maki O was to us. Yeah. She just represented everything that we wanted to represent. Yeah. That sophistication, the use of our craftsmanship on an elevated level, her creativity, her whole energy, what she did with Adire Long. I mean, people don't realize how it was Maki that started it all.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think people forget, because before Maki O, nobody was going to Abeokuta to create new designs on Adire. And she was already doing it on silks and stuff like that, reinterpreting motifs, so seamlessly without any noise, but just literally. And I feel so sad that Maki left fashion design, because she is actually one of the most important designers of our time as Alára. Yeah. And I really wish she'd come back, but she told me she's not. But maybe she will do a retrospective. I think that might be really cool.
So this is 16 too, maybe actually, or 17.
It might have been 17.
Yeah. But yeah, so this is us in Sindia in Senegal. And this is one of the buying trips that I used to just accompany my mom on when she would go around West Africa buying things. And again, she tricked me because she would tell me that we're traveling and then we'll be working
holiday.
We'll be working morning till night, and like, if you know how her energy level is different. It's not the same. I remember, like, any buying trips, I used to come back, I'll come back sick, I'll come back tired. So then so this one in Senegal, she said we had to travel somewhere for us to meet basket weavers.
Yes.
But this is an amazing moment. This was with our amazing family friends who are Senegalese and run a brand called L'Artisan. And so they took us to Saint Louis. We did a road trip from Dakar to Saint Louis, Senegal.
Yes.
And we stopped on the way.
Yes.
So this is an image from that. And I love this image so much. It's so beautiful. Homegrown.
Was this the first homegrown?
I actually have no idea. I just think I just chose a picture that said homegrown. I just don't know that we expected, or I did not expect homegrown to be what it became.
Yeah.
At all. It was Ari, right? It was Ari.
Yeah,
that was
Ari
just
came up. She said to me, Steph, it'd be nice to have some designers, local designers in the space during Christmas time.
It might have also been like a post-COVID thing, right?
I can't remember that post-COVID part of it.
Okay.
Or maybe. But when she said that, I was like, we can just have some designers. I'm like, no, they can take the whole store. And that's how. And she was like, really? I said, yeah, let them take the whole store. And yeah, that's how Homegrown started. And what a great property of Alára.
Yeah.
In terms of like just, being part of a community.
Yeah.
Just feeling the community in the space and having them in the space is always a wonderful time.
Yeah.
No, don't tell me that's Abula.
Abula.
Okay, you go with Abula. You start.
So I actually I don't remember the year. It could have been 2017, 2018. I felt like, so the relationship between my mom and I when it comes to knock is one that is like, it really is intergenerational in the sense that there's certain things that she does and she likes that I'm like, my friends can't afford that, or my friends wouldn't do that. And so I always say like inside and outside is like, so like knock indoors feels very her. And then when we opened the grill and the outdoor area, I was like, that's where my friends would go because it's cheaper and like more accessible. And so there's always that kind of like back and forth between us, which I think is really nice. And I feel like with Abula, I felt like every time we would go to parties and weddings, my friends are eating amala. And I was like, it felt like it was having a revival of sorts. And I didn't really know. And so I was like, why don't we make it like a secret menu item where, because my mom's whole thing is like, I really don't want to be a buka. That's like, I'm like, knock has to always put its spin on things. It has to elevate things. We can't do things so directly. And so I was like, why don't we do it as like a secret menu item that people don't know about every Thursday? If you know, you know. And I also thought it was like a fun marketing thing. And so we then made it a Thursday lunch only item. And it was a secret menu item. It wasn't on the menu. And then, well, I mean, I gave her that brief. She took the research and development into a different realm and created this abula. So I just said, let's make abula. She ended up going to Ibadan, Abeokuta, like all these different places to create this dish. And then, yeah, Thursday afternoons became crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be packed.
It would be packed in here. So the thing about Nigerians is like, you want things to go a certain way and then they drag you with them.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So this Abula 1 day a week secret thing did not last very long. It had
No.
to become every day, and it had to become lunch and dinner too.
Yeah, I kind of tried to resist that, but
For a long time.
yeah, I tried to resist it because it felt great. Like, and even for a long time after we put it on the menu, Thursdays would be still packed because people still thought it was a
just
Thursday
Thursdays,
dish.
Yeah.
I have to say, I'm very appreciative of people who have really supported us on this Abula journey, because really they have, and we're grateful for that. But yeah, moving forward, I think we have to push the different elements on our menu. We have to create dishes that they don't have to go viral like Abula, but let people see another side, the range that we have.
So this is the Kano Durbar 2018.
Yes.
Yeah. So we were invited by His Royal Highness, the Emir of Kano, to attend and document the Durbar.
Yeah.
It was the coolest thing ever.
Ever. Ever.
It was so cool.
I mean, I'm so old and I had never been to one before. I was mesmerized.
It was crazy. Everything about it.
Yeah.
The textiles, the costumes,
the
horses, and I'd never been to Kano, so that was very cool for me. And the palace was also really cool.
Beautiful. And I think these cultural moments, I don't think we either document them enough or know about them enough.
Yeah.
Because this is huge.
Yeah.
In terms of even the craftsmanship of making all the costumes, in terms of the mastery of the horsemen. I mean, this is like levels.
Yeah, it was crazy.
So beautiful, the colors.
And then amazing photographer Kachi Eloka is the one that took these images, and she was so sweet. I messaged her. I was like, "Are you still taking photographs?" She
stopped, really.
But she was amazing.
Yeah,
so
she
quiet
really
and
was like. And the images.
Do you remember there was a sandstorm when we were leaving?
Oh my God, yes.
There's a sandstorm, and so then we have all these images where it's just like sand.
Yeah, and it disrupted the end of the Durbar.
Yeah. So I'd never been in a sandstorm either. That was cool.
Yeah, that was wild.
Yeah.
This is a crazy
this
picture.
image is so funny. I'm so sorry. I was just trolling, to be honest, when I put this image in. But
they're wearing
the matching leopard is Alára at the Brooklyn Museum.
Alára at the Brooklyn Museum. That was a big moment for us. And we went all out. The idea of being in the Brooklyn Museum was so great. Such a great temptation for me to go overboard as usual. Simply because Brooklyn has sort of a really big number of our diaspora. And the museum is such an important part of their life, everyday life, that I thought it was such a gift and such a moment to show African creativity. And I got everybody around me really mad with me because I wouldn't stop. The range of what we took to Brooklyn Museum
versus what they expected as well.
Versus what they expected. I mean, I think that judging by the leopard prints, I think you can imagine what people were imagining we were bringing to Brooklyn Museum. And also the fact that it was a museum shop. You can imagine what people thought that meant. But for me, it was just such a wonderful moment for Alára's expression that we really did go all the way and really did transform a part of the museum. And in terms of memory, I think a lot of people remember that moment,
100%.
that connection of Africa and its diaspora with such beauty and such range, alongside the Africa Fashion Exhibition. I think was a fantastic moment.
Yeah, and I think even speaking to the African Americans that I know that came, it was also really important for them because they were like, I don't think people not from the continent or not Black knew the range of what we have. And so I think there was like a very important self-affirming moment too, which was really beautiful and nice.
Yes.
Great.
The range and then the beauty and the quality.
The quality, yeah.
And even working on that just like, as a team, was like, what,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that opening night,
Wow. Yeah.
what a night! This is a lot.
So
African
not New
Renaissance.
Year's. Yeah.
African Renaissance.
Yeah. So this is. Well, yeah. These are just not New Year's generally, and this is African Renaissance.
Yes. That's a
I would just
crazy,
say, yeah, so
wild
not New
picture
Year's,
of me.
first of all, is like my mom's stage. It's just like her, after all the hard work of the year, she gives herself even more hard work.
But
But for her, it's like it's a very cathartic creative process, I think, to dream up these experiences and execute them. I don't know why that is cathartic.
Yeah, it's a weird madness.
It's really weird.
Yeah.
But then what happens is that she then goes crazy during the event. And so that's why this picture is so funny, because you will see her dancing till 6 a.m. in heels this high. Every single New Year's. And it's just like, after the long year you've had, how are you still on your feet? All night dancing. Dancing. It's like she's not sitting.
And also how I'm on my feet working the night before.
Not even like all-nighters. All nighters
for days before, and still have the adrenaline and energy. But it's like you said, it's really cathartic for me. Just literally thinking up a theme when you're doing it for fun and for yourself. It's not for a client. It's not like it's just a freedom. And if you haven't got to do that all year and you're working on so many different things, the moment to be able to say something and then produce it, and I love production. And you see, these themes are not just flat themes. You have to understand, they're themes that like you could write a thesis on. And even though it looks like a party, it's just a party. Like everything is a big story. African Renaissance at the time, if you zoom into that picture, you'll see images of great Africans across different genres, presidents, like musicians, like just different genres, and researching that and finding who to put next to who, why, what have they done, and how does that become part of the African Renaissance. And thinking about using really simple local craft to create a big moment of what I would call like expression and design, something so simple, and creating something like really magnificent from it, for me, was a big story. And I think people just come and enjoy the party and they don't understand the thesis I've written behind it. But yeah, that was the moment. And I really love that picture because it really is about African Renaissance and how happy I get about these kind of projects and these moments. That's a really happy day for me.
This one I'm going to talk about, because basically another thing that happens with my mom when you work with her is that if you tell her no, she just does it behind your back. And so every New Year's, she just goes crazy. Ari usually indulges you. Ari is usually your wing woman.
Yeah, she's my wing woman.
And so you just come and you just see crazy things. Like, who is this person? Like, what are they doing? Like, you just see like jugglers. You see like,
why?
Or you see people on stilts. You see robots that are like 10 feet high. Like, so there's always really funny things happening at New Year's that's like very surreal and funny. And so this for me is like, who is this? Where did you find this person?
Yeah, but what was this theme again? It
was Alára Wonderland. So it was like magic and like all these things, and suddenly there was like a guy juggling.
Yes,
balls.
And there was a surrealist. It was a surrealist night.
Yeah.
Yes. But this is surrealist.
No, it is, but it's just funny because how did you?
I worked with. I'm trying to remember who it was at the time, and I said, I want something out of the world, otherworldly, like look like magic, look like. And he would just send me different options. And I wanted this against the backdrop of the work. What's the artist's name? Do you remember?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
It was really great. Yeah.
And again, apart from the story behind how I find it was about how people would experience the space.
Yeah.
And the fact that, I wanted like the crazy, weird, wonderful stuff around the surrealist artist. And yeah, it worked though.
It did. It always does. It always does. Again, pardon? This is Tropical Christmas. But again, I walked in and I just saw people as sunflowers. And I was just like, when did this happen? How? But again, here she is dancing the night away.
Yeah.
I loved this theme. I thought this theme was so good.
I love this theme. I'm kind of obsessed with the images.
Yeah, the
from
images
this
from
theme.
this one is so good.
Yeah, when I said
year.
tropical, I think nobody really understood how far I would take that.
Take it. Yeah, no. We didn't.
But there were pineapples and there were sunflowers.
There was a beach.
There was a beach
lifeguard.
and pink sand.
And a lifeguard carrying mermaids.
Yes, there was a mermaid.
Yeah.
But the thing about this theme is that, there were kind of typical things you'd think about for a tropical theme, like flowers and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But also I was very keen to talk about how we celebrate New Year's in West Africa.
Yeah, in the tropics.
And the importance of a beach around that. I thought about, when I was thinking about the mermaid, I thought about the legend of Yemoja and stuff like that, and how we could intertwine that into an amazing night. Yeah. And again, I could write a thesis on this night, really. Maybe I should.
Maybe you should. But yeah, so this was, again, nobody knew how far she was going to take things. And then I walked in and Alára was a draped pink room for her own birthday, like that we were meant to be planning for her. So...
you kind of did.
No, you planned.
I just had moments.
You planned that party. But yeah, so her 60th birthday.
They tried to plan it for me. But that's a hard thing, especially when I kind of had a theme in my mind. And again, it was another thesis about Lagos in 1965. This was in everything. I thought about the different influences of jazz, influences of high life, how Juju came to life, Fuji, Apala. For me, all the sort of genres of music that were kind of interplaying at the time, some of them more into the 70s maybe, and some of them earlier in the 50s, but kind of the way they intertwined. And I kind of wanted the party scene to feel like we were immersed in that. And so the pink room actually was an anomaly almost, because it was a rest place. Because for the rest of the space there was high life, and then you moved into a moment of a small moment of Apala, and then a moment of Juju, and then a moment of Fuji. Actually, there was also Fela around because the DJ had to do a Fela moment. And then I wanted a space that was a refuge, kind of like a rest place from all the drama outside. And I thought, why not have this beautiful pink room? And I just wanted to see Alára in pink. And also you would see that it's also a little bit retro with the velvet and the drape. And of course my huge, of course the little lamps are kind of a nod to the jazz clubs of the 60s that we kind of became connected to through Black artists that would visit Nigeria and stuff like that. And that was just the moment I wanted to connect. And then the grand pink cake was another like fun vintage moment of, it was actually a wedding cake.
Yeah, because we were doing research into cakes from the 60s, or I guess from the 80s. We were very liberal with the years.
Yeah, but
because it wasn't like, it's not about that. But yeah. So, and then I was like, whoa, you guys had bridges on your cakes?
Yeah.
And it's like, and then there would be like little miniature people on them.
Did we make the miniature people?
We didn't do people because it wasn't a wedding. Because it would be like a bride and a groom.
Yeah,
and
also we didn't have time. She was magic to make that cake. Number one, the cake, Crumbs Bakery. The cake was amazing.
Yeah.
And then to do this in like a week.
Yeah. Without having
previous
lived in that time.
And I think about things really late as well.
Yeah. And shout out to Auntie Bissy as well for
Huh?
helping with this.
Yeah,
as well.
yeah. Well, my sister
Yeah.
and Crumbs were like, "Can you handle the cake in a week?" And she said,
And
"Yeah,
we did
yeah."
it.
And it's such a moment.
But it's
such
just
a
like I
moment.
loved seeing Alára drapes in that way. I thought it was so soft and
Yeah.
really lovely. And
Yeah, for me, and it was exactly what I wanted to do. The
Yeah.
shade of pink.
I'm excited for the book. I feel like it really feels like a collectible, like a collector's item. It's something that my thing, I know you probably don't care about this as much because you keep going and you keep doing things. I feel like it was very important to archive Alara's influence on contemporary visual culture in Nigeria. I feel like Alára has influenced so much, especially the way that my mom brings things that like we've all seen before, we've all known, but haven't necessarily been introduced into contemporary design culture. So I'm thinking about the mats that are knock that like now you see everywhere, but I never used to see them in contemporary settings in that way. The chairs at knock, the Yoruba chairs, which again, like everyone knows them, but I hadn't seen them introduced into contemporary spaces until Alára. And so for me, a lot of it was kind of like, I wanted people to understand the influence Alára has had on us, even though it might be subconscious. So, and I feel like the book really does that because it archives so many moments and there's just so many beautiful images. I don't know how many images are in that book, there are a lot. We discussed this at the beginning, like, do we want this to be a text-heavy book or an image-heavy book? And we went for image-heavy, and
Yes.
I'm really happy that we did
Yeah.
that because it was really important.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
Alára is so visual.
It is, yeah.
And also the first encounter of Alára as a book should be visual.
Yeah.
For you to be able to consume what the story is and what it's about.
Yeah.
And then text can come later once you understand and you understand what that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited for the book. And like Faridah says, I'm not a great archivist. I think she is the archivist of the family, and or Alára, frankly. I'm just a doer, and I'm an expresser. I just kind of express how I feel. I just do things, and I do it, and I keep doing it, and I keep doing it. So I need people like her to be like, we have to say this. We have to talk about it. You have, because honestly, I've done so much in my life that has not been archived. And yeah, like you said, I'm really happy for the influence that Alára has had, on contemporary visual culture. But I think also understanding that there's always more to do. And as we grow, as we've grown, there's also more partners to work with.
Yeah.
Also because of what has happened over the last 10 years. Just, watching young people grow into having their own expression, their own ideas, and how that also can be part of the Alára story. We didn't have that 10 years ago, that confidence, that belief that young people have in themselves and the importance of their African expression. It wasn't here before. So I think that just being able to partner with young people for the future is super interesting.
Oh.